She doesn't scream. She doesn't celebrate wildly. She doesn't smash rackets or throw tantrums. But when Elena Rybakina steps on court, something changes. A silent storm begins to build. And by the time the match is over, you realize she didn't just win. She erased her opponent. Born on June 17, 1999, in Moscow, Russia, and now the pride of Kazakhstan, Elena Rybakina has carved out a place among tennis's elite, not through flash or drama, but through discipline, force, and icy calm. She's the quiet champion, the kind that doesn't need to shout to make the world listen. This is her story of family, focus, and the love life she keeps locked away from the public eye. Towards early life. Before she was a Wimbledon champion, Elena was just a tall, athletic girl from Moscow with a curious energy. Her parents encouraged her to try everything: gymnastics, figure skating, even basketball. She had the grace, flexibility, and work ethic, but not the right frame for those sports. Her height became a challenge on the ice, where smaller builds dominate. But what was a problem there became an advantage on the tennis court. At just 6 years old, Elena picked up a tennis racket, and something clicked. She was instantly hooked by the rhythm, the precision, the individuality of the game. Her father noticed early that his daughter had not only talent, but hunger. He began supporting her quietly, funding her early lessons, arranging practices, and balancing schoolwork with training. Unlike many tennis prodigies, Elena didn't grow up in a lavish sports academy or a family of professionals. She went to a regular school in Moscow. She trained only 2 hours a day on court and 3 hours in physical conditioning, far less than most top juniors. There were no headlines, no magazine covers, no sponsorships. Just hard work, patience, and quiet determination. By 14, she was competing in junior tournaments across Europe, carrying her own bags, traveling on budget flights, and studying between matches. It wasn't glamorous, but it built something more valuable than fame. It built resilience. The Kazakhstan switch, a new flag, a new future. 2018, Rybakina had grown into one of Russia's most promising young players, but there was a problem. Funding. Tennis, especially at the junior and early professional level, is brutally expensive. Coaching, travel, equipment, accommodation. And in Russia, she wasn't receiving the support she needed. So when the Kazakhstan Tennis Federation offered to sponsor her career, Elena made a life-changing choice. She switched nationalities, not for politics, but for opportunity. It was a bold move. Some critics called her unpatriotic. But Rybakina stayed silent, focused, and determined to prove herself through results, not words. That same year, she began representing Kazakhstan, and the journey to greatness began in earnest. Elena's rise wasn't explosive, it was steady, strategic, and unstoppable. In 2016, she quietly turned professional. In 2019, she won her first WTA title in Bucharest. And in 2022, she shocked the world by lifting the Wimbledon trophy. No one expected it. She defeated Ons Jabeur in a powerful display of composure and precision. Her reaction? A small smile. A polite wave. No tears. No roars. Just pure control. That day, Elena made history, the first Kazakh player ever to win a Grand Slam singles title. And yet she remained grounded. Her game is engineered for dominance. A serve that touches 127 miles per hour. Ground strokes hit flatter and cleaner than most on tour. And a footwork pattern that blends efficiency with grace. She doesn't play like she's trying to impress. She plays like she's trying to end the point. Some call her robotic. Others call her serene. But everyone agrees, when Rybakina locks in, she's nearly unbeatable. Rivalries. Rybakina's calm nature has made her a mystery, but her rivalries have given her story fire. Her duels with Aryna Sabalenka are now legendary, two powerhouses, both relentless, both fearless. They've faced off 10 times, with Sabalenka holding the narrow edge. Their matches are chaos and beauty, two cannons firing across the net until one blinks. Then there's Iga Swiatek, Rybakina's opposite in every way. Swiatek is expressive, emotional, artistic. Rybakina is still, surgical, unshakable. They've met 9 times, with IGA leading, but every encounter feels like destiny pulling them together again. And in 2024, Jasmine Paolini stunned Rybakina in the French Open quarterfinals. A shock loss that only made her hungrier. She doesn't chase revenge. She chases improvement. That's the Rybakina code. Emotion in silence, power in restraint. Success and wealth. As of mid-2025, Elena Rybakina's estimated net worth is $15 million. She's earned over $16.6 million in prize money, with consistent performances across the WTA calendar. Her 2023 season alone, with titles at Indian Wells, Rome, and Abu Dhabi, brought in more than $4 million. And then came the endorsements. In 2023, she left Adidas for a massive deal with Yonex. Soon after, Red Bull, Bank RBK, Lexus Kazakhstan, Kazakh, and Kazakhmis joined her portfolio. These partnerships now bring in an estimated $4 million annually. But unlike many modern athletes, Elena doesn't flaunt her wealth. No mansion tours, no designer brand obsessions, no social media oversharing. She lives quietly between Moscow and Kazakhstan, keeping her private life sealed from the public eye. In 2021, she even won a Porsche in Stuttgart, but didn't have a driver's license. Now she does, and yes, she's been seen cruising in that same car. She doesn't chase attention, she attracts it by doing what few can do. Win with elegance. Lose with grace. Love, controversy, and privacy. For someone so composed, Elena's personal life has not been without drama. Her former coach, Stefano Vukov, was more than just a mentor, he was rumored to be her boyfriend. For years, the pair were inseparable on tour. But in 2023, troubling reports emerged. Fans and journalists accused Vukov of being verbally harsh during matches. Some even claimed there was an unhealthy dynamic behind the scenes. The WTA investigated. Vukov was eventually banned from the tour. And Elena? She said nothing. No public statement. No emotional interviews. She simply switched coaches, first to Goran Ivanišević, then to Davide Sanguinetti, and continued to win. That silence spoke louder than any tweet ever could. Since then, Rybakina has kept her romantic life completely private. No confirmed boyfriend. No public partner. When asked about love, she once replied, "Right now, tennis is my priority. Love can wait." For fans, that was the perfect answer, honest, calm, and true to who she is. Perhaps she's protecting herself. Perhaps she's already found someone, quietly, away from the cameras. Either way, she's not telling. Because in Elena's world, privacy is power. Beyond tennis, Elena rarely talks about her off-court projects, but her actions reveal a lot. In 2023, she donated 35 million tenge, roughly $75,000, to help fund young female tennis players in Kazakhstan. She's also participated in events like the Porsche Charity Tournament, where each ace raised money for local causes. She doesn't make grand speeches. She doesn't post donation selfies. She just does what she believes is right, quietly. That humility, that understated generosity, is what makes her different. She isn't playing for fame, she's building something bigger. Respect, legacy, and future. Her resume already speaks volumes. Trophy Wimbledon champion 2022. Second place medal Australian Open finalist 2023. Trophy titles at Indian Wells, Rome, Stuttgart, Abu Dhabi, Brisbane. Chart increasing career high ranking, world number 3, the highest ever for Kazakhstan. And at just 26 years old, her story is still being written. The US Open looms. The WTA finals await. And the Olympic Games are right around the corner. Her rivals, Sabalenka, Swiatek, Goff, Paolini, are louder than ever. But Rybakina remains the same. Focused. Dangerous. She's not chasing headlines, she's chasing history. Every swing, every serve, every silent fist pump adds to her quiet empire. Because sometimes, the greatest legacies aren't shouted. They're whispered. Between victories. Elena Rybakina isn't here for fame. She's here for legacy, for the love of the game, for the silence that follows greatness. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this quiet storm is only getting started. Elena Rybakina, the woman who speaks softly, but plays loudly enough for the world to hear.